Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 34 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. My name is John Pruitt, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Amanda Siegel. Hey now, Amanda.
Hey, John. Nice to have you back. I hope you had a wonderful week away with the fam. You guys had fun?
It was a nice little road trip for spring break. Just the three of us to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which we'd never been to, but it was tiring, but it was fun. Yeah,
it's got to be tiring with that. How old is Jackson now? 10?
He's almost 9. He'll be 9.
Oh God, that's right. Month. He's so tall. I keep forgetting that he's as young as he is. It's gotta be hectic, but that's fun. That's fun. And you, I was very impressed. I see that you certainly kept doing some stuff while you didn't have your bike and your tread available. You guys were very impressive. How you continued to do your stuff.
Jackie did some core in the hotel. I was just doing like meditations just to at least, get that blue dot every day.
I rub it in.
But I had never, I don't think I've ever been away from the bike of not done, I've done just, workout at a hotel on a spin bike on the app.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever gone a week without actually doing any kind of workout, but it was actually nice, giving my legs a full rest. And then when I got back, I got a little cold. So I took Sunday and Monday off from the bike completely. So I took another little break to take care of this cough that I had. But yeah, we got our first shot on Monday. So that's halfway there, vaccinated.
Fantastic. So it was just a cold? It was just a cold? Yeah. It wasn't? Oh, that's lucky.
So I actually, before we got, the day before the vaccination, I went and got a rapid test, and then I got a regular test too, and they were both negative. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, that's awesome. I know we're starting to see so many more folks being vaccinated, and it's just amazing. It's amazing. So,
getting there.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We're all fully vaccinated in the Siegel household. So, it really just kind of gives you that little bit of a sigh, a sigh of relief. That's awesome. Yeah, but I'm sure it must have been interesting to have been off for as long as that, because I don't think you've ever taken, as you said, that much time off, right?
No. We went to Mexico and Cabo, but I would go to the hotel gym, like I said. It was just nice, just to unplug.
Yeah.
Just to unplug from it. But
I have to.
Go ahead.
No. Keep going.
When I got back, one of the rides that I was doing in the pre-show, Jen Sherman said, "Oh, John Pruitt's back. John, I looked at your trip to wherever you went, Tennessee, and you're doing all these amusement park tourist things." She goes, "It looked exhausting."
I saw that. I saw her IG with it, and I was laughing so much. She's hysterical. That's awesome. Yeah. What I was going to say is that with me too, with kind of traveling back from Florida, and then I had taken my daughter back up to New York. I was definitely off my game this week, and it makes a difference. I mean, I felt so empowered when I got back on the bike, and it was amazing. I mean, I really missed it. It's insane as to, when you're not there. I never in a million years would I have ever thought that I would be excited about working out. And in fact, so I had driven up to New York. We got back Monday, and it's so funny because I had mentioned, he's such a sweetheart, but I've mentioned Tony Sinkinson a couple times, Cinco, and he is on me about making sure that I get this damn Tabata ride done and dusted. He is like, "We are doing this. Pick the damn ride. You're going to be doing this. Tony, I promise you, I know you're watching. I promise you this coming week, we're on. We have a date." But I just couldn't this week. It was just crazy with coming back from Florida. And I got back on Friday, and it was late Friday afternoon by the time I had jumped on the bike, but I knew that I needed to get my pick of the week. I had been, toying, and Oh my goodness. And we'll talk about it in the pick of the week. And I did kind of give a little spoiler alert on Instagram, but I have to tell you, I felt so empowered just having my bike and having somewhere that I could just kind of release and know that I could enjoy. And I would never have worked out, at 5:00 on a Friday afternoon, just to kind of do it. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So yeah, I mean, I think that's what everybody feels. And we all kind of circle back to knowing that we have something connected, that we connect everybody and keeps us going, which is amazing. It's an amazing feeling. Yeah. So John, before we get started with the news, we always like to remind everybody that is watching. And by this point, I think everybody is on all our social media channels, but we do like to tell you, in order to be able to keep up to date with all of the content across all of our platforms, every episode is obviously released on our YouTube channel. So if you don't get to watch it live on Sunday mornings or Sunday afternoons in the UK, you can get to jump on YouTube and get to see our mugs. And one can just go ahead at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
And also, if you prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, if you're on the go in the car, we're on all traditional podcast platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Hit subscribe, also click notifications so you never miss an episode. And please leave us a review if you like the show. If there's anything we can improve on, a suggestion, critique, interview suggestion, we're all ears. We love to hear from the listeners and viewers of the show.
And of course, guys, we're on Facebook and Instagram. Always just search Pelo Buddy and follow us on these platforms for all of the latest news. And boy, is there news this week. I guess, John, let's get on with the show, right?
All right, let's do it.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
So, John, this week's top story is definitely the update to the Pilates program on the platform. As we know, Peloton had first launched Pilates back in December, but it only consisted of about 20 classes, which were led by Hannah Corbin, Emma Lovewell, Kristen McGee, Aditi Shah, and Sam Yo out of the UK. Members were frustrated, though, with the lack of material on the platform. But Peloton definitely listened. And this week, it was so exciting because we saw the launch of not only new Peloton classes, but new coaches as well. So there have been 20 new classes that have been added to the on-demand library, and they are being taught by Anna Greenberg, Rebecca Kennedy, Jess King, Ali Love, and Kendall Toole. So folks, head over to the Pelo Buddy website to see a list of all the Pilates classes. There are a bunch of them, and it's just easy to be able to navigate them right directly from there. Or of course, go over to the Peloton app and you'll be able to pull those classes up there. So that was really, really fun to see so many of the instructors getting involved in the Pilates platform. And I think members are really pleased about it.
Have you done any Pilates, Amanda?
I haven't done it yet. Yeah, it's again something that I'm definitely wanting to do. I've always said I'm not quite a yoga person. I used to do Pilates on the Reformer many years ago, and it was great for my back, having all these back issues that I had. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that, and hopefully now that my life's going to get back to some normality, being home, I'm going to look at doing that too. Oh, a lot of my plate.
Well, moving on, we recently had Peloton ranked the #1 place to work in the greater New York City area by the website Comparably. So rankings were determined by anonymous employee feedback on the Comparably platform. So questions were a combination of workplace culture, in nearly 20 categories, based on compensation, professional development, leadership, opportunities to work-life balance, perks, benefits. So questions were asked in a variety of data-driven formats, yes or no, true, false, 1 to 10, multiple choice, so they could get a real comprehensive look at what each company was doing for their staff. So for this whole survey to qualify large companies. So that meant more than 500 employees must have a minimum of 75 employee participants, so they could get a really good data range. And small and mid-sized companies needed at least 25 employee participants. So Peloton ended up with 205 employees submitting responses, according to Comparably. So the overall culture score was an 87 out of 100, or an A plus, which that converted to. Incorporates the employee ratings based on their feedback, on the CEO rating, gender, meetings, and more. So that was kind of fun. And some other New York companies that Peloton beat out of note were ADP, the paycheck data processing company, Google, Verizon, IBM, Johnson & Johnson, Deloitte, just to name a few. And in addition to being the best place to work, Peloton was also given 6 other nationwide awards. Keeping in mind, these are based on self-submitted employee feedback. They got Best Product and Design Team for 2021, Best Operations Team, Best Marketing Team, Best HR Team, Best Engineering Team, and Best Company Outlook. So some great feedback for Peloton, just, reflecting how awesome a company it truly is from top to bottom.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I absolutely love that. And it's so interesting though, John. I was actually trying to find it, and I should have pulled it up before we started recording. But I actually got an interesting DM from a girl who worked for Peloton. And of course, I got all excited. This was a Peloton employee. She had, I was trying to think of what she called herself, but it turns out she's a delivery, one of the delivery folks. And she had delivered a bike to a neighbor of one of my very, very good friends in San Diego. And we started chatting back and forth. And she says, she calls herself just a delivery person. And I said, there's no just. Think about what you're doing. You're changing people's lives. And she said it has been the best job she's ever had. And it's funny. So the timing was great because it was right around, us reporting the fact that they were one of the best places to work. And, we kind of focus on the instructors and think of them as the Peloton,
as the face,
employee base, right? But there's so many other people, whether it be the folks on the phone, that we speak to out of customer service, whether it be the guys or girls that come in and deliver our bikes and treads, whether it be, the people just in the back of the studio that are helping, manage from that perspective. So it's amazing, and well done to Peloton. I think that truly is fantastic, that not only do the members get so much appreciation out of the product, but so do the staff, right?
Yeah, and it's nice to get that real world feedback directly from someone within the company, because when we got our bike in 2017, I had heard that the customer service was amazing, and we had issues from the get-go with our first bike being swapped out a couple times within the first month. And that was only reinforced because they were so white glove with taking care of everything. So first impression was great right out of the bat, even with the problems that we first had. So I've always had this, I've always reiterated that the customer service, from when I've had to call in and chat, has always been top notch.
Right. Even to, as we say, the delivery guys, I mean, they're just so lovely. And I've, certainly had, again, tons of folks in and out the house because of issues with the bike and swapping out and all that type of thing. And every single time I've had somebody come out, they couldn't have been nicer. I mean, literally could not have been nicer, and were excited about what they were doing and acknowledged, how proud they were of us, the members, being on the equipment, etc. So, really awesome. Really awesome.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, Peloton, and it wouldn't be a show, John, without reporting a new lawsuit. So while the staff and employees think that the company is amazing, there are folks out there that are looking for ways to discredit Peloton, which frustrates us to no degree, right? But there is a new lawsuit to report about this week. And Icon Health and Fitness, who most of us know as Nordic Track, have filed another patent infringement infringement lawsuit against Peloton. They're alleging that Peloton's Bike Plus is infringing on a newly granted Icon health and fitness patent that they had received in December. From what we understand, it seems to be over the combination of Peloton's auto follow feature together with the weight rack and corresponding user interface on the Bike Plus. Icon have gone on to claim that both of those together infringe on their new patent. So basically, John, when you're doing a workout, and if you look at the top of the screen, specifically on an intervals and arms ride, at the top of the screen, you'll see kind of the time scale that goes from cycling to
progress,
weights, then back to
the progress
cycling.
Line. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, according to Icon, that was their idea, and they had patented it. They're also claiming that the auto follow feature was theirs, which could certainly be a rather big issue for Peloton if the suit favors Icon, as this is definitely one of the premier features that differs the bike from the Bike Plus and the additional price tag on the Premier bike. So it'll be interesting to follow the suit and see what ends up happening. It's I guess it's only time, right, that we'll be able to tell. But that definitely.
And I read that, and Peloton has a couple, at least one or two pending lawsuits against NordicTrack as well. So it's the lawsuits just keep on coming.
Yeah,
there's always something to sue one another, over. And I can totally understand from both sides how protective they are, because that's their bottom line, and obviously it's major with how much market share Peloton we know has right now. I mean, they're just the dominant force in this at-home workout space.
It is interesting though. Yeah, and it is interesting though, because I was just going to say that, and maybe just because my world is Peloton, but in the 2.5 years that I've been on the platform, I've only encountered one person that did go with NordicTrack as opposed to Peloton, and I never hear her talk about it. Isn't that so bizarre? I mean, she's not a close friend of mine. She was a girl that I worked with and an acquaintance. But I'd love to reach out to her and say, so tell me, you're still enjoying that NordicTrack platform? But it's interesting though, because I really haven't heard of anybody else on the NordicTrack platform. So it's strange to, as you said, Peloton clearly dominate the at-home workout fitness. But, our NordicTrack is still trying to gain traction in the market. So,
well, it's funny. A couple things to add. Probably over a year pre-pandemic, over a year ago, when I was at Best Buy waiting for one of the employees to install a new screen protector on my phone, right off to the side was some of the exercise equipment, and there was a NordicTrack bike, and it was plugged in for demo. So I hopped on it. And I put on a studio class, and the one thing I liked about it had this big fan attached to the bottom of the screen facing you that could just, you could adjust and blow on you. And it was kind of nice. And the bike actually raised and lowered. You could do an incline if you were doing a scenic ride or depending on the class. But I noticed the studio, the instructor, they had all these crazy strobe lights going back and forth. Wasn't for me, but
interesting.
When you mentioned that you don't know anyone that's mentioned, having it, there's a guy in one of the instructor groups, that I know a little bit. He, got rid of it. He, had gotten the Bike Plus. He'd upgraded. He's an original, one of the first, OGs to get a Peloton bike when Peloton first came out. He got rid of his bike. Said he kind of hit a roadblock, with his fitness and needed a change and to switch things up. And he got the NordicTrack, and he said he's happy with it. But I just think it's so odd to, you're so immersed in the community and just to totally ditch it. And I just couldn't imagine just totally making that full pivot, to a whole different company and workout. But I mean, more power to him if he's happy with it and it's helping, with his fitness journey. But he seems happy with it. So
interesting.
God bless.
Yeah. Well,
they're going to have to come get your Bike Plus if, NordicTrack wins that lawsuit. You're going to back to the regular bike, Amanda. They're gonna come get Jackie's Bike Plus here.
Better not. I use that autofollow function a lot on my on-demand rides. I really do, especially if I'm kind of on a recovery day and just really want to follow the instructor's cues and not, I'm not pushing for a PB. I'll definitely use that autofollow function, and it's amazing. And of course, the integration with the Apple Watch. I love that. I love being able to have that, accessibility to it and see my heart rate right there on the screen. I love it. So yeah, let's cross our fingers that Peloton win this lawsuit for sure.
Yeah, or settled it.
Clearly, John, celebrities like Peloton, and we hear them talk about it all the time. I'm going to throw this out there because it sounds cool, but we do need to take this with a huge grain of salt. And for folks out there, I just learned a new term. In South Africa, we used to say a pinch of salt. So now I've just heard that it's a grain of salt here in America. I like that. But we actually got so with that huge grain of salt, we actually got some insight from the Deuxmoi website that it had been rumored that there was something big coming from Peloton this summer. According to the site, they have been in talks with and have confirmed some very high-profile athletes and celebrities to the tune of Michael Phelps, Jay Cutler, Kate Hudson, and so many others. The series has been named Ride and Relate With, and one can just pop in the celeb's name in there. And it will supposedly feature fun rides and then interviews with some of the instructors. So the celeb will get to do, IG lives, etc., with the instructors. The goal that Deuxmoi reports is that Peloton is really looking just to stay ahead of the curve, as not only their competitors that are out there that we just spoke about, but also as gyms and health fitness groups open back up in New York and across the country. So it was something fun. We felt it was fun to report because if it does come to fruition, we'd love to be able to say that you heard it here on Pelo Buddy. Don't hold any, we don't hold any high hopes that it's going to happen, but we can certainly hope that. And Kate Hudson definitely has on her Instagram. I do follow her. She will often post about her bike, her Peloton bike. We know Miley Cyrus does. What's the other singer that we who was the other singer that has on her bike? Oh my goodness! Come on, John, you can help me with that one. We spoke about her too.
Got to give me a little more.
She's a rap singer, an African American. Thank
Lizzo.
You, Lizzo. I'm hearing from the control room. Why couldn't I remember that? Lizzo talks about her tread all the time. So it would be fun to get to see. And we know there's so many celebrity golfers that have bikes that are on the leaderboard, tennis players. So I think if Peloton were able to do something like that, no question that it would interact with the members so well, and we would love that. So that's something fun to see if it does come to fruition. There was also talk about Biden in there. I don't see that happening, but that he is very focused on health and fitness and would be somebody that would be potentially interviewed. But that was kind of just thrown in there. I don't know if we'll ever see that, but it was interesting. So yeah, I thought we would just add that into the news for this week because it is something that has been spoken about this past week.
I know. I always love seeing when instructors, a lot of celebrities I don't follow, so I love when I see them reshare celebrity stories in their Insta feed of them riding the bike. Just people I, had no idea when, I think maybe Jess Sims Ali Love reshared a story from Candace Cameron from, Full House.
Yes.
Actress,
yes.
just on her bike riding. It's kind of, fun to see just organically that way, to see them, how much, they love it. They're just like us, like Jimmy Fallon with his tread and his bike.
Right. Exactly. And I do love it when the instructors get excited and they as you said, and they repost, because that's kind of cool. We look at them as celebrities, but they're looking at obviously they're looking at the celebrities as celebrities. So it
they're totally fanboying and fangirling out when they see those, when there's a little blue, especially when there's a little blue check mark next to their name, they know they're special.
Exactly. Awesome. So let's hope that it does come to fruition, because I think it would be something fun for the community if it does, for sure.
Very cool. Well, we have a little iOS update for the Peloton digital app. So back in 2019 Peloton Homecoming, they announced some updates that they were rolling out. And one was on the bike and tread, the ability to change your volume mix. So you could keep it original mix, or select more music, or select more instructor. So now that little feature has been added to the iOS app. So there's now just this little area, just a little icon for a little toggle to change that. And also one change that I think is nice is now on there you can have the ability to see all of your bookmarked classes across all class types. So you don't have to change to cycling or tread to see what you have bookmarked. It'll just all appear there under all class types. So you just scroll to the bottom of your classes tab and you'll see basically a new option for bookmarks right there for the iOS app. So it's kind of nice.
That's really cool. That's really cool. They definitely are updating that iOS app so that you can use a interface between the two, being on the bike and using the app, which is amazing. Awesome.
I just wish they could. Sometimes it feels like, though, when I don't know if this is for you, but when I ride and I hit more music, it doesn't feel like there's any difference. So yeah. I think it really varies on whoever's producing it that day or what the class is. Because sometimes I feel like I'm not getting anything different. Different. Pumping
I haven't really paid much attention to that. I will. I rarely change it. I am always just kind of on what the middle one is. But that is interesting. Yeah, I'll definitely pay more attention to that.
I just wish it could be louder because my volume is always turned up all the way on my earbuds.
Yeah,
I just feel like just need a little more. Anyway, so we have a new challenge. It's from German cycling and strength instructor Erik Jäger. It's called the One Team Challenge, and he's going to kick this off on April 24th with Motsi. I don't know if I'm going to butcher this. Motsi Mabuse, I want to say.
All right.
Sounds like the South Africa. She's South. Motsi Mabuse, thank you, Control Room, a South African celebrity dance, TV judge, mother, and businesswoman. And what it is each week, Erik will put together a 2-day class schedule containing a variety of Peloton disciplines that may be new to you. It's basically strength related. It's not on the bike from what I've read, the structure of it, to earn a badge. So there's lots of variety is essential for a balanced workout from Erik. So each week it's centered around a different discipline. So week 1 is cardio. Week 2 is strength. Week 3 is yoga. And week 4 is focusing on stretching. So starting April 24th, Erik has this suggested class plan. Starts out week 1, a 10-minute warm-up, full body warm-up, then a 30-minute HIIT cardio, followed by a 10-minute full body stretch. So it'll be nice to see, a little variety from, the German camp.
I love the structure of it. I love the fact that they're looking at it being this 4-week program and giving you the option of getting involved in other platforms. Because as you said, we just tend to stick to, you've been amazing. You've been amazing in how you've become so disciplined on your tread. And you've gone, you've kind of gone that route where you didn't think you would, and how you've grown there. And of course, the boot camps that you do. And I just don't tend to get out of my damn bubble. And that is something that I need to work on. So strength I have been doing, I have to say, and it's really been helping. So I'm definitely trying to get, at least 3 days of strength in a week. And I have to say, I am hooked on meditation. It has been amazing. And we'll talk about
Who's your favorite
Pics of the week.
Who's your favorite meditation person? Who's your go-to?
So Ross Rayburn. Ross is actually my favorite. Yeah.
It's the voice. It's that voice is soothing.
100%. I just find him so calm. And I even like the structure of his meditations. We're going on a tangent here, and we can talk about it more in Pics of the Week because it is my pick of the week. But I do love Ross. All right, good. Well, It does seem, John, that there has actually been another hint about boxing. This time it came from Bradley Rose himself in an Instagram post where he stated, and he actually thanked members for joining him on his interval and arms ride that he recently did, and he had included a little boxing on there. So Bradley, we all know that Bradley has a history of boxing. He taught boxing in New York, but he said that he was testing the waters in his intervals and arms ride when he threw in some punches in the intervals, in the arms section of that. But that it's also that could be something that's coming down the line. Kendall had also teased on her Instagram at the beginning of the week that she had something exciting to share. But we weren't disappointed because I think everyone's really excited that she's getting to do Pilates, but it turned out to be the fact that she was going to be a Pilates instructor. And
my guess was boxing.
Yeah, everybody's guess was. I mean, the chatter on social media was no question that we thought that this was finally going to, be coming out there. But it turns out that it was, in fact, Pilates, and had nothing to do with boxing. But all roads are still leading to the possibility of boxing on the platform, though. So we'll have to wait and see. I was hoping, though, Bradley had done an Instagram live on the One Peloton Instagram with Ben Oldis just this past Thursday.
Yeah, I caught some of that.
Did you catch it? Yeah. I adore Ben, and obviously now Bradley. So I did sit and listen to the whole thing, and I was praying that he was going to slip, because we do know that Bradley tends to slip every now and again. So I was praying that he was going to slip and spill the beans there. But I guess we're just going to have to continue to wait and see, because nothing is firm as of yet.
I'm sure he was more aware and careful, especially when it was the live was through One Peloton and not his regular.
Exactly. But actually what was interesting, and I'll throw that in there because we're not really talking about the Instagram live, but what I found was interesting, John, was that he actually thought that the job was going to be in New York.
Yeah,
I don't know if you caught that.
Yep.
So he was excited about it, and it was funny because he'd said that Cody had reached out to him. He thought it was 3 or 4 years ago. Cody says it was 5 or 6 years ago, but then he had reached out to Bradley and wanted him on the platform, and Bradley wasn't quite ready. And then when Cody reached out to him now, and he said that, I think he reached out to Cody and said, I think I'm ready. I think that was what he had said. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sounds right.
Remember. Yeah. And that when he took the job, he was all excited. And then they said, and you'll be doing this out of the UK. And he was like, okay. But he did say that his mum was really happy that he's back in the UK, and he seems happy. But it's got to be kind of bizarre that he's come into doing this at a time that he has, where he hasn't really gotten to socialize with the instructors. And I'm sure they probably cover a lot. Maybe they do see each other in the studio, and they, don't tend to talk about it just because of COVID. But it did seem strange that they don't really get to see much of each other. So I'm sure they're looking forward to being able to, jump on social activities together and do stuff together as a team once things do open up.
Definitely.
We also saw this week another apparel
studio
drop, John.
Oh,
we saw that too. Yeah. We did see him on Instagram outside the London studio,
which may be open or
maybe open, may not be open.
I don't know. I didn't see a big barrier or anything. It looked moved over to the side, like somebody could just be coming freely and going.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not sure yet, but it was fun. It was fun, and of course, as you guys know, I've been to London many times and love Covent Gardens, and it was so fun to see him standing in Covent Gardens with the big Peloton sign, and that was really cool to see. But moving on, there, as we all know, was another apparel drop, and I have to say, John, this is my personal opinion, but it was a much better drop than the Adidas drop that occurred last month. month. I was not overly enthralled with the Adidas stuff, but I loved what just dropped. There wasn't much hype about it though before the drop, I had felt, although some of the instructors were wearing the new apparel on some of their rides on Wednesday. And it was funny because I had messaged a couple girls and said, did you see what Leanne was wearing on her ride on Wednesday? Oh my God, that's got to be dropping any minute. And then of course, Pelo Buddy was right there telling everyone to make sure that they logged on Thursday morning to take a look at the drop. Interestingly, I was on my way to New York. So I think, John, I can confirm in saying that I have a problem. It's here. I don't know how many folks are going to be viewing this. I'm officially stating I have a problem. And we know that because on my ride up to New York from Maryland on Thursday morning, I stopped at a rest stop.
You stopped. You should have put it in self-drive mode and then just ordered it.
Don't laugh. I did. And my mother was with me and she was getting very nervous and she was like, you know what, Amanda, I have to go to the bathroom. Why don't we just stop? And it was a fantastic excuse because I got what I needed. I was so happy. So there were some great things. And I thought the men's stuff looked amazing. Did you get stuff?
I didn't, but there was a couple things that I liked. There was a shirt that Maddie was wearing. There's a couple shirts, and I saw there was a new hat, which I'm not going to get because I get every new trucker style hat, and I never wear it. I never wear it, so I decided to put my foot down and just, if there was a cool full zip hoodie, I might have gotten that. But to add to what you're saying about Peloton Adidas, I rarely throw shade at Peloton, but I have to add on and say how disappointed I am in that Adidas drop it's just not good. Like the quality and the sizing of everything. So I got a pair of joggers, which are so baggy and the P and the N are cut off on it. So like the picture is kind of different. So they gave me, actually, I emailed customer service and they gave me a refund for it. Mm-hmm. But everything is just so baggy. Like these shorts that I got and the logo is just looks ironed on. Just wasn't good. And everybody that I saw that posted stories, like our friend Emily Parsons in London, you know, she did her little model stories of her trying everything is so baggy. It's just like the cut and the fit of everything. I don't know if it's because they made everything unisex, but maybe I just wasn't for me.
Yeah. I have to say, John, I've been hearing that too. Tons of people had reached out to me and asked me if I'd gotten stuff and were disappointed. A few people had said about the P and the N and and a few people had said that they had gotten refunds and credits and, you know, they were sending new stuff. That's disappointing because I was excited about the collaboration. I mean, Adidas is such a big name that, you know, it was exciting about the collaboration. But yeah, that one just didn't seem to gel. But look, as you say, we hate saying negative, but if there's negative stuff to report, you got to tell folks. So I didn't. It was nothing
good or the bad.
Yeah, exactly. For me, there was nothing that jumped out at me that I really needed. You know, so I never got anything. But I'm pleased that I didn't because I didn't realize we'd have another drop so quickly. I mean, I have to say, Mrs. Foley is doing a brilliant job in keeping that merchandise going. She's fantastic. But yeah, so they definitely are listening to the members in making sure that there is product and there is stuff out there. And they've definitely done better on sizing as far as adding, you know, plus sizing and for everybody, which is fantastic. And I didn't notice, I mean, while I joked about, you know, pulling over and purchasing at a rest stop on my way up to Manhattan, there is still stuff on there. I didn't find stuff flew out of there like it had been in the past. So they are definitely producing more, you know, more merchandise, which is smart, you know, which is smart. Folks want it.
The needs, the demands there. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's good. I don't ever have to really worry about that as a guy, so I'm lucky.
Yeah. For the
guys
women,
guys aren't like vultures, you know, buying everything up as soon as it drops. So
For me, it's nice to know that I'm not the only, and I've said this before on the show, nut out there. But the messages that were flying on my DM, and I could not respond to anybody because I was driving, and I had the girls in the car, and they were like, "What did you buy? What did you get? Should I buy? Has it dropped yet?" Somebody from Canada was like, "I haven't seen it drop on Canada yet," and I'm like driving. So when I got to New York, my mother was laughing at me. She was going, "Oh my goodness!" She goes, "Your phone was blowing up." So yeah. So just to finish off, John, it was funny though. They had actually thrown in some Mother's Day stuff that was on sale, but they removed that. So clearly it was a bit early, with Mother's Day only being in the second week of May here in the States. But there were some Mother's Day things that had kind of dropped in there, and then were removed when they realized maybe that it was just too early. But that was kind of in there too. So I guess and I will see more stuff, and I'm sure now we know that come Mother's Day, right before Mother's Day, we're going to see some more things drop. So folks will have the ability to purchase more. I'm all out of referral codes now, so got to start plugging my bike again.
Everything's out of pocket now.
It's out of pocket, and I managed to get some stuff from this drop. Still, I had 2 referral codes, so it was nice. But and folks, I'm going to mention it again because so many people, it amazes me, John, don't know about their referral codes. So guys, if you have a bike or a tread, you have the ability to earn $100, pounds, euros every time you recommend somebody buying the bike. And you can go ahead and get your referral code right off the website. I can certainly let folks know how to go about getting that, but there is a referral code that you have. And if you give that to a friend or somebody that's interested, they'll get $100 off accessories. So if they're going to be buying the shoes or the weights or something on the accessory line, not apparel, but on the accessory line, they get $100. And then in turn, you get $100 and you can use it towards the apparel. So it really is fantastic. I mean, that's why I am always decked out in Peloton. I have not spent, believe you me, I have not spent the money on all the stuff that I have. But right, I mean, and there's so many folks that just don't know, John, that's something that's available. So
frankly, I'm surprised you don't have Pelo Buddy display your referral code right on the screen there for you. Pimp out your code.
I'm somewhat humble. I can do my own plugging.
That apparently is frowned upon for anybody watching or viewing. You can have your code disabled. Apparently, I know 1 or 2 people that's happened to. They've deactivated the referral code because they put it out publicly on a website. So be careful with that.
Very good point, John. Absolutely. Definitely don't put it on the official Peloton page or any of the groups, because they very quickly will pull that from there. But certainly on your own Instagram, or your own Facebook. And truthfully, sometimes I'll throw it out there, but for the most part, I will talk about it and then say to folks, just DM me and I'll give you the code. So, always feel free to do that. But yeah, I thought it was probably a good idea to throw that out there, because it amazes me as to actually how many people don't know about their referral codes. So
I know, and for any prospective members that are looking to get that tread or tread plus or bike plus, DM me. I have plenty of codes available for this year. So
okay, shameless plug. Plug, John Pruitt. Tell us what's next.
Right. We have a new artist series. This one is the White Stripes, husband and wife musical act, Jack and Meg White. And that is going to kick off with our German cycle instructor, Mila, with a 30-minute ride on April 13th. Dennis is also doing a ride as well, a 30-minute ride. Andy is doing a strength class, which is on demand. So it won't be live. It'll just, he's, coach to camera, as they call it. Krista McGee Yoga Flow, and also we'll have a run with Selena Samuela. So check Pelo Buddy, our social media channels or websites for all the exact dates and times. But it's in conjunction, the White Stripes, they're re-releasing their entire studio catalog, including their debut album on April 23rd. So this is just another sort of example how artists are now, promoting their content, partnering with Peloton this way, which I think is a great avenue, obviously with, Peloton's explosive growth, getting out there. So, yeah.
Interesting. Because I have to say, and we've said this before, John, I wasn't familiar with the white stripes. And I love how Peloton do bring folks to the platform that folks wouldn't have known about anyway. And the way the world is today, when we aren't getting the ability to go to concerts and see folks, it's an amazing way to have artists be able to be featured in this way. So, good for Peloton for giving these artists the opportunity to be able to be featured. I love it.
I said it before. I never knew about Lizzo until we had the Lizzo Artist Series. So it's just a great way to broaden my musical horizons, especially if it's an artist that I kind of knew but didn't really dive deep into their catalog and listen to much of them. It's a great way to really, broaden that. Like Justin, the Justin Bieber series was another great one. That just happened. Yeah. More mainstream than the white stripes, obviously. But, also the rumor mill just keeps on churning, but we should be seeing a 30-minute Usher ride from Cliff Dwanger, one of our German and cycle instructors, coming up on Friday, April 23rd, 11 a.m. Eastern. So Peloton, somebody accidentally pressed a button a little too soon there, and some of the details about the Usher ride were on I don't know if it was on the app where we caught it or on the website, but the description it just said something, for like bookmarking purposes. Yeah, description to be added later. So,
well, you know what that means, John.
What's that mean?
There's going to be an Usher series coming.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic because I love him. So let's cross our fingers, hey?
Who else do you think is going to be? You think that'll be Tunde or Alex? I don't know who's.
Oh, I actually think Ali.
Who's on deck?
So maybe Jess King. Maybe she. I think she may have the artist slot this week.
I wonder if that's for biker. Oh, she has the slot for cycling. Yeah, for that Wednesday night slot.
Oh, so maybe that could be fun. I think Jess King could do a great Usher ride if that comes out. So yeah, that's exciting. Hey, you heard it here first on Pelo Buddy when we announced that Usher is the next, right?
HIHF, as I always say.
I love it.
Stay tuned for that. I'm sure by the time this comes out, that'll have already been pulled from the website if it's already been yanked.
Right. It probably isn't on there anymore, but that's something to look forward to.
It's disappeared.
The series will come out next week. So that's exciting. Well, Christine Durkel had actually announced on her Instagram that she would be hosting a very different ride series. So that was kind of fun to see. And she's definitely been more active since she's come back, which is lovely. This particular one is called the Reflection Ride. And it was held back on Wednesday morning at 8:35 a.m. Eastern Time. It was a 20-minute ride, John, and it was very, very different. According to Christine's Instagram, on this ride, she wanted members to be able to conquer climbs and truly surprise themselves, but that folks would not be looking at metrics or numbers to determine their success. I have to tell you, I love that. And she's always been someone very much that has kind of pushed push your leaderboard away, ride because you are on that bike. And, she shows a very much of an inward reflection out. And certainly I'm sure she took pause with her cancer diagnosis and said to folks, it's, you do you. And Leanne says that all the time in her rides, you do you. And I love that expression because we are so competitive and we are, unfortunately, that just, I think, isn't human nature, right? Folks just, in something like this, get on the bike. And I put my hand up 1,000 times to blame in that I am that person. And sometimes I have to say to myself, Amanda, you don't have to be pushing yourself to others that you see on the leaderboard. Just do you. And when I did that my pick of the week and I'll talk about it. I did it. I just did me. I was doing it on demand. So I wasn't really racing anybody on the bike at the time. And I did great. I didn't hit a PB, but I came close to one and I felt amazing after the ride. And when I went back to see, I felt in a great space on the leaderboard, but I wasn't focused on it. So I love that Christine has taken the time to create a series like this for folks that just want to ride. In the ride series, she states that there will be no comparing and no competing. She just wants members to join her on the bike exactly as they are, whether it be alone, together, or navigating the landscape of the space between one's head and one's heart. She also states that this is going to be about turning out the numbers and turning inwards oneself to honor whatever it is one needs. She did go on to suggest that members approach this ride differently. She suggested that folks turn off their phones, maybe turn off the lights, and ask their family to respect the sacred time that they were going to spend 20 minutes on the bike. So as I said, I have not done the ride yet. It is definitely bookmarked as a form of maybe even a recovery ride for me, but I'm looking really forward to doing it.
Well, she always says in her rides at some point, it's not where you are on the leaderboard, it's the fact that you're there. So I can 100%. See this is right up her alley. I'm curious what sort of music she would put. I just imagine Enya.
I didn't look at the playlist. Yeah, I mean, I can take a look.
Something
I didn't
chill.
Look at the playlist, but I'm sure it's very chill and in her, she's got that very soothing monotone voice when she's on the bike that some folks love, and so that definitely is. I'm taking a quick look to see what the music genre is, and maybe we can tell folks. Let's have a quick look here. It was a 20-minute. So Dave Matthews, U2. It definitely is Matthews that. Fan. Yeah,
it's more chilled. So chill vibe.
Definitely more chilled. Johnny Swim. Amazing. I'm looking really forward to doing it. The National. Awesome. So folks, maybe that'll be my pick of the week for next week. Who knows? I'll let you guys know.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Well, we have another new series with my absolute favorite instructor, in case you didn't know, which is Jen Sherman, JSS. So she is bringing back her mixtape series starting this morning, Sunday morning, 9:30. So her mixtape series, it's a different theme each week. If you've never done a ride with Jen or one from her mixtape. So just to give you an example, she did a movie themed soundtrack theme of different, rock or artist songs from different movies. She did one that I loved, which was just live versions of different songs, just live concert versions. She had a cover theme of cover songs of hit tracks from different artists covering it. So it's kind of cool. She's going to be teasing it the day before the ride, or she's already teased it because today's Saturday, but, I haven't caught it yet. So I can't give you what the theme is that will be for week one. But just a cool series that she always does, kind of like her Legend series, which she did years ago, where she focused on different artists, like her football pregame rides, if you've ever done that. She's got a lot of cool, different rides that she's brought back on a regular basis. So it's great to see this one return, see what she has in store, because she's very into her playlists and her music knowledge. And that really comes through in the classes when she gives you a little random factoid and tidbit. And she even did it in her 10-minute Justin Bieber warm-up ride, which I did before Olivia's Bieber ride, which Jen Sherman's a big Bieber fan. And you can tell from that just little 10-minute warm-up how much she loves the Biebs. So I'm looking forward to taking that Jen. I never miss a Jen Sherman Sunday when I'm home.
Well, what's scaring me right now is that you actually can kind of read my mind. We haven't been doing this together for that long, but you literally took the words out of my mouth. Whereas I was sitting here thinking while you were talking, I didn't want to interrupt, but she is amazing in how her playlists are phenomenal. That's exactly what I was just thinking, is that you get on that. She really spends, I mean, I think they all do, but Jen will voice how much she enjoys putting together her playlists, and she puts so much effort into it. And I love how she uses different genres too. She'll go back to her youth, where where she's done her rides from, music from the 80s and stuff, to being a Bieber fan as a 52-year-old woman. And I can relate to that, having kids the same age as her. I feel the same way. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I'm not one of the kids. As she said, she joked about that in her ride, right? She said how she used to use Carly as the excuse to go, to go and see the concerts.
To go see the concerts. Yeah, she's having more fun.
Concerts, but she was having more fun. So, so there's no question that she does put a lot. So this is going to be amazing. And yep, I will be on that leaderboard with you. So I'm looking forward to that first mixtape ride. Yeah, I'm reserving. I think I've told you this before. Thanks to you, you brought me back to Jen. Jen, I'm waiting for you to acknowledge me on Instagram and not just repost the posts that John reposts of what I've posted. Thank you very much. But I'm really enjoying my Sundays with Jen. I really have found that it just gives me a different perspective, and I'm loving them. So thanks, John, for bringing me back to Jen. As I said, she was my go-to when I first jumped on the platform back in 2018. So I'm really excited.
It's church of JSS. Sunday is that holy day of obligation.
Exactly. So it's nice. And I love how we have the ability to kind of, mix it up, because there was definitely a period where Sundays were reserved for Allie. And I used to be religious about doing her Sundays with Love. And, it's nice to kind of just do something different. So I'm enjoying the Jen Sherman Sundays rides. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on Sundays, which is fun. But yep, our instructors have certainly been featured here and there. We're seeing tons of them on all sorts of things that are popping up. Last month, we had spoken about Bex Gentry being featured on Canada's breakfast television. This month, we saw Matt Wilpers. He was featured in a segment called Moving in the Morning, and Matt actually had led viewers on and off the Peloton tread with a workout. So should folks wish to see the segment, you can certainly head over to Pelo Buddy website, where you'll be able to find the link to access it. And more about Christine. Christine did a podcast titled Showing Up. She got to chat with Joan of Talk of the T-Town about body image and embracing one's body type. And, that's, again, something that Christine has been very vocal about, and, has been one that has really given folks that maybe are starting out their journey and are looking at utilizing the platform for weight loss and finding just comfort in their own body and just moving. That is something that is very much at Christine's forefront, and she speaks about it a lot. But she did speak about dealing with adversity and overcoming it, but most importantly about making oneself proud. I haven't had an opportunity yet to listen to it, just being such a crazy week. But definitely folks head over to Pelo Buddy website, and you'd be able to pull the podcast right off there. I'll definitely take a listen this weekend, because I think that she is somebody that I truly respect in the way that she has tackled her own adversity and her own issues. And I know she went through a period of time where, she just did have to kind of pull it all inward. And she's been a great support to tons of folks, and she has a huge following. So looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah, I do. I love her message about, having a healthy body image. And she says you're bigger than a larger pair of pants, and you have to kind of look past that. So she always has a good image, a good message about having a better image of yourself looking, with inside. So that's the one thing I love about Christine. You always kind of find a deeper meaning in her classes. That's just one of her greatest qualities.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. So, moving on, we had Jess Sims was featured with a really, in-depth interview in Shape magazine. Talked all about, when she was in high school, being a 3 varsity, letter captain in sports in high school, growing up in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, and then being the captain of her basketball team at Trinity College. But it went into finding her stride on the Peloton platform and harnessing what she had learned in the classroom and on the basketball court. But a really good read I recommend for anyone wanting to know more about Jess. And I know how, her popularity is huge, on the platform, since she also started doing boot camp. But it begins with, it talks about her during the early days of the pandemic and her feeling kind of isolated from family and friends. And she was walking through one of the parks in New York City, which she always walks with her dog, Sienna Grace. And she was sort of reflecting on, that loneliness. I'm sure that we've all experienced at some point in the past year. But then she saw 2 people in the distance working out together. And then she heard her voice coming in, from those 2 people. And the 2 people were actually doing one of her on-demand classes on the app. And then she had that moment of realization that Peloton is literally uniting us, bringing us all together. But I loved how it talked about her path to Peloton, because it wasn't a traditional one of, she had the fitness background, but out of college, she went into a program where she was recruited to be a kindergarten teacher in Harlem, New York. And then from there, becoming an assistant principal in the town that she was born in, her father's hometown in Lynn, Massachusetts. And then back to an area of fitness when she realized that the education path wasn't for her. And I really loved hearing I love the recruiting story, because so many instructors, they initially get pitched from, Cody, Rebecca Kennedy's recruited a lot of these amazing instructors, including Jess Sims. And I've messaged with Rebecca about this one in particular, because my wife is obsessed with Jess Sims. But, Rebecca had initially approached Jess Sims probably a year before she came on board, at least, and said, you would be perfect. We're starting up the Tread platform. This is 2018 at some point. And Jess was reluctant then and said, no, I'm not ready to be on camera. I'm just not at that point. And then cut to a year later where she's confident in that, fitness realm and that space, because she was doing, I think, teaching boxing classes or taking boxing classes where, Rebecca would run into her. So it was kind of it was kind of cool to see the gradual progression to where she is now, because we see this sort of well-polished, refined instructor who seems so amazing. And it's kind of cool to see the background that she takes from what she did as a teacher and incorporating that into how she teaches now.
Amazing.
But
yeah,
a really
she's so
good,
confident,
a really good,
right? She's so confident that it is funny to think that she wouldn't have been. Yeah.
But a really good read. I highly recommend this interview. I really enjoyed this one, hearing about her background, especially, when she came on board initially, one of Rebecca's star recruits.
Well, it gave me chills listening to you talk about how she was walking through the park and getting to hear somebody working out, to her. Actually, I had chills, because that's amazing. And what an amazing feeling for the instructors when they know, and they do know how they've changed our lives. There's no question that they truly are, I think, humbled by it. A lot of them are. We've heard, even from Alex Toussaint to Jen, to Jess, to Leanne, they always talk about how Ben Oldus, these are guys that have always been very vocal on how much they acknowledge what they've done for us as a community. And I love that. I love that they always say they're in it with us. And, they're not just the celebrity on camera that we're working out to. They really are part of our world, and they acknowledge that they are. So that's really amazing.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's great, that you can interact with them. They see how you share your progress, and, they also share some of that in their own social media channels. So it's a great sort of shout out, and it also is uplifting too. When I see other people's stories that they share in their progress, I'm blown away myself.
100%. 100%. Yeah. And I think that's what I want to look at doing more on the show, is kind of finding those people, just finding folks that, it's nice to have every now and again somebody that's, celebrity status. But I think for folks that are watching or listening to the show, it's nice to be able to just understand that there are just normal people out there that have chosen this platform and have literally changed their lives, whether it be from a physical perspective, a healthy perspective, a mental perspective. It is pretty amazing to see the community come together and, as you say, to watch people's progression and how they've been consistent and motivated. And it was funny because when I was in Florida last week, I mentioned it on the show briefly, but I had met up with somebody that I connected with on social media. And, we just kind of spoke initially on social media. And when we found out we were both going to be in Miami at the same time, she said, "I'd love to get to meet you." And it was funny because she had gotten her bike back in 2018. She said it sat and literally was one of those clothes horse type, things where she never used it through almost the whole of 2019. And when the pandemic hit, it was there, and she suddenly started seeing friends talk about it. And social media is just so unbelievably poignant in making folks aware of stuff, which I love. So whoever disses social media, don't go on it. But there is so much positive that comes out of it. There's no question. And she did. She started at the end of last year, getting more involved, and she happened to have gotten involved in the community that I'm very involved in the Leanne's Yes to You crew. And she said it's changed her life just from a mental. She suffers from, and I forget, I don't think it's lupus, but I know it's completely escaping me right now. And she never thought she could get there. She always, as we said, the competitiveness, she thought she had to be competitive. And she realized, through riding with Leanne, that it was the you do you. And she said it's been the most incredible experience, and she feels more healthy, and mentally she's changed. So I think what you've said is just so true in how the instructors have helped us do that. So yep, keep doing what you're doing, guys. It's amazing.
And finally, happy birthday to Allie Love. She celebrated her birthday. Her fiance Andrew, they share the same birthday. So happy birthday to both of them. I know she was going wedding dress shopping from her story that I just saw the other day. So hopefully she had a good time planning her wedding, which I guess is coming up soon. She's looking for dresses now.
She's looking for dresses. It was actually kind of cute, John. I don't know if you saw on her Insta story, but she came on in the morning of her birthday, and she was really excited about it being her birthday. And she had shown, I guess Love Squad had come out with an orange collection, and she had advertised it on her Insta story that day with a tie-dyed t-shirt and hat and tote bag. And she was really excited about it being her birthday, come out of what Love Squad were offering. But it's so cute. Yeah, it's cute how some of the instructors, do love to celebrate their birthdays and are all over Insta, because we enjoy that. We enjoy being part of their community. So that was really cute. So yeah, happy birthday, Allie. And I guess, John, that pretty much wraps up the news stories for today. Wow. We got through a lot there. It's amazing.
Another packed week.
Love it. I love it. I love it. So I guess next up is Pics of the Week.
All right, let's do it. So
I'm letting you go first.
I was going to pass.
I'm letting you. I know.
Pass to you, my lady.
You have a lot of Pics of the Week. So I think we're going to go with you, and I'll trail at the end.
All right. Let's get to it. So I've got a few. So I'm going to start off with Jen Sherman's 20-minute rock ride from April 6th. Nice, quick, solid workout. It's going to fly by. Just jam-packed with all the great rock bands that you could think of. Green Day, U2, Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, Aerosmith. Just like a solid rock ride. Check that one out. There is a 20-minute 80s run with Rebecca Kennedy that I did April 7th. That's just a ton of fun. The 80s is my favorite decade to work out to. So whenever I see something 80s come up, I immediately get excited, especially if I can do it live. And I usually always, when I'm on the tread, it's usually always live because that really pulls me in to working out on the tread. But I won't say this was a John Pruitt collaboration with Rebecca, but I did give her some assistance, let's say, with this playlist, a couple songs. She had messaged me. She needed an opening song. I told her, Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World would be a great track to kick off the run to. And she'd actually had that at the end in the cool down. I said, no, bring that to the beginning. So she put that as the opener. And then she played, Erasure, A Little Respect, which was one of the ones I gave her. And then she did some Bruce, and Bruce Springsteen, if anybody hasn't noticed, was restricted for a long time on the Peloton platform. Instructors could not play any Bruce Springsteen. So just recently, about a week ago on Jen's 60-minute rock ride that she did last Sunday, she put in a couple Bruce tunes. So that got everybody in the JSS camp super excited. So Rebecca had a Bruce Springsteen song in there. I can't remember what song she initially had, but I said, you should use Glory Days. Like, that's a kick-ass Bruce song. So she put Glory Days in there, some Talking Heads, and one or two other Salt and Pepper, I think, which was a random one to have in there, but that worked well. But great 80s run. And I make no secret, I'm a big fan of Rebecca, and she's super fun and generous with her time, obviously, when we banter back and forth on messaging. But great run. And obviously, one of my other picks of the week is going to be Olivia's 30-minute Justin Bieber ride from April 7th. Great class, all the Bieber hits. Definitely pair it with Jen Sherman's 10-minute Justin Bieber warm-up. There's a couple overlapping songs in there, which I don't know why they didn't coordinate using different music, but whatever. I don't mind hearing some of those same hits over, but definitely take that warm up because, Olivia goes hard, and you'll get a good workout in the 30 minutes, but definitely warm up with that 10 minutes before. I know my wife, she did the 10-minute warm up as the cool down for some reason, but you do you. But take them, pair them up, both great rides. And then for tread, boot camp wise, Selena Samuelo's 30-minute tread boot camp, which was a full body one from April 8th, will kick your ass. Really good boot camp, lots of sprints, which I love to do sprinting, but on the floor too, a tough workout. And one song I loved hearing when we were running on the tread was Avicii's Wake Me Up. That just, got me fired up. And I gave Chris the clip from that segment of the class to take, but great tread boot camp. I don't do enough boot camps on the tread and bike. So when I do, they always kick my ass. But, if you don't incorporate enough strength, or you're looking to add strength, boot camp is the way to do it, to ease into it, because it's a nice mix. It breaks up the monotony. If you're riding or running, just doing those straight rides, it runs a lot. It's great to have that little sort of break, transitioning to the floor, getting in the strength, because that really is how you're going to get stronger, and improve your output on the bike or the tread. But yeah, I love that tread boot camp. I'm still sore. My quads are still aching from that.
That's
so awesome,
they're my
picks.
John.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's awesome. And, I want to add in there, I didn't put it as a pick, but I did do the Jen Sherman Bieber warm up. I haven't done Olivia's ride yet, and that's bookmarked for this weekend too. So I'm definitely going to do that. But I did post on my Instagram, and I'm going to say it again on here, folks. For those of you that do not do warm-up rides or even cool-down rides, do them. Just do them. And Jen, I actually took that segment from her warm-up and posted it on my Instagram because they're there for a reason. And, it was funny because I was actually going back and forth with Jackie, with your wife about that, we both said, I hate the haters that say, that, oh, you're stacking your rides and that's why you get to your milestone so quickly. They're there for a reason. And if you're on that bike and you're pedaling, you're doing a ride. And I don't care whether it's, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 60 minutes, you are doing a ride. And she was very vocal about saying how important that 10 minutes before you're going to ride as she said, I can't remember the term she used, but she said your primary ride. I think that's what she may have called, the actual ride that you're going to do, your primary ride. But, if you do want to make a PR, if you do want to, and there's no question that you will ride better in that primary ride if you do a warm-up. So I do tend to try and do the 10 minutes because I have this guilt about doing 5 minutes, which is ridiculous because I shouldn't, right? We shouldn't have the guilt about doing 5 minutes. It's still a warm-up. So I do try and find a 10 minutes. And there aren't many 10-minute warm-ups. There are lots of 10-minute cool-downs that folks can do. There aren't as many 10-minute warm-ups, unfortunately. And I'm hoping that now with Jen having done this one, that they'll slowly, I know I push Ben and Leanne to do more 10-minute warm-ups all the time. I'll often, DM them about that. But there is no question that you ride better in your primary ride if you've warmed up your body, if you're not kind of going into that ride cold. So John, I don't think either of us really put it as our picks, but that warm-up ride was fun. And you had to have Holy in there. If you're going to do a Justin Bieber ride, so you got to have it in there. So there was no question that Olivia and Jen would have been, beefing each other out as to who was going to have it on their ride. So the two of them just both put it in there.
And I am a big fan of warm-ups as well, especially Matt Wilpers has a 10-minute warm-up. I don't know. I must have done it at least 20 or 25 times now, but he's big on warming up the body on the tread and the bike, but he's got a 10-minute warm-up. It's probably his most recent one if you search for it.
I've done it.
But he's great because he talks about it, the waking up the mind-body connection, and just talking about the physiological changes that you need before you're getting into the main set of the ride. But early in the morning and before certain instructors, I have to do a warm-up. Before I ride with Alex live, I have to do a warm-up because he is going like full out right at the beginning of the class. So like the Ride to Greatness today, the one that counts for this first one. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a 10-minute warm up for that. And when I get back to riding at 6 a.m., I haven't done that in a while. I always get in at least a 5 or 10 minute. Yeah. Cause my body's still half asleep at that point. So
for sure.
Yeah, you do you, no judgment. If you're getting a milestone and you've got a lot of 5-10 minute warm up, cool downs, a ride is a ride. Like you said, if you're pedaling, you're putting in the work.
Yeah. And hopefully we have new folks, on the show that are now listening and watching, which we love. And I did want to just put that out there. And I've often, taken those little excerpts that the instructors actually talk about it on their rides, about doing it, and have put it out there for folks. Because I never want anyone to feel guilty or, or like embarrassed or delete them. I see people say, well, I'm going to do them, but then I'm going to delete them. Hell no. If you've put in the time and the effort and you've done that ride, don't you dare delete that ride. It's a ride.
Every now and then I delete 5-minute ones if I need to line up a milestone. So
yeah, sure. And I have to, John, I will admit to doing that as well. Absolutely. There is no question that if I've suddenly, and there's a specific ride, like I like to pick a ride that I know I'm going to enjoy to do a milestone. And in fact, Leanne has one coming up this week. She has a jazz ride coming up this Thursday that I may be able. I know, but I think that could be fun. That I may want to do my a milestone on there. So I may have to, depending on how much riding I get done this weekend, I may have to delete 1 or 2 5-minute rides just to line it up. But you're right. From that perspective, yes, absolutely. If they
can come in handy that way. So
I love that. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Well, finishing up, let me go ahead and give you my picks of the week. And
let's hear it.
Loves to tease me about the fact that I need to branch out a little bit. But I've given Jen Sherman her call outs when I've loved her rides and given those as my picks of the week. But oh my God, this week, folks, my pick of the week was Leanne's Club Classical ride. So it is I will not deny in any form that she is my favorite, my absolute favorite. And I have to tell you, I've noticed probably in the last 6 months, become so entrenched in her music selection and her pick in music. And I was very honest. I actually did her hip hop ride on Tuesday and I hated it. I'm just not a hip hop person. And, folks were saying, oh my God, the music was amazing. I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy it. I did it because it was a 20-minute back to back. She did a 90 minutes pop and then she did a 20-minute hip hop and I was on the bike and did both of them.
We were on the same page with that one. Yeah. I'm not a super hip hop. So I wasn't. You're not going to feel the playlist every ride. Yeah.
Correct. Don't love the music. And I'll be honest with you, you're not going to like me when I say this, but I'm not crazy about rock either. I'm just not a big rock person. And, so I tend to steer away from those rides unless it's, been recommended and folks have said it's amazing. And then I'll listen to it. But anyway, going back to my picks. The Club Classical, and people were asking, well, what's Club Classical? So basically what she's done is it's really dance music that has the strings and quartets and to it. So you can really give your all to it. And she picked amazing music. Some I'd never heard before, which I loved. I loved the fact that it's sometimes music that I haven't heard before. And with Club Classical, it can be that. It's a 30-minute ride. It was live on Thursday, the 8th. It was a lunchtime ride. She's changed her schedule a bit, so folks are liking the fact that they can ride with her more. But it was absolutely phenomenal. And I mentioned it earlier in the show, because I wasn't riding live and because I was doing it on demand, I kind of moved the leaderboard away and I just listened to the music and just focused on riding. And I surprised myself. I didn't quite make a PB, but I was very close to it. And I was really impressed with just how I was able to just escape in the music and do it. So that is my pick of the week. And then my second pick is actually meditation. I had, again, spoken about really getting into meditation quite seriously over the last few months. And again, we spoke about it earlier in the show, but Ross Rayburn is my go-to for meditation. I do love Kristen McGee as well. Some of Anna Greenberg's and some of Aditi Shah, but primarily I will find a Ross Rayburn meditation. And I did it was a new one from this week. I believe it was from the 7th. It was a relaxation. It was a 30-minute relaxation. And to spend that amount of time in meditation, you really have to have the time. And my husband actually was quite funny. Mark had videoed me because I was sitting, I believe I did it in Florida, and I was sitting on my balcony in this Zen mode, and he videoed and said, "Oh my God, don't go disturb mom. She'll kill you."
Your hands on your knees.
My hands. I was in that pose, and it was amazing.
Harnessing your chi.
And why I liked this particular one, because most of the times I will do the sleep meditations. I do find them really helpful to get to sleep, but I fall asleep. And then I don't get to, appreciate the whole meditation, because by that point I've gotten so relaxed.
They're doing their job.
Yeah. But with this one, I really focused and listened, and I love how they talk about drawing you back. And we'll show you a little bit of the clip, as this rolls. But yeah, for folks that haven't attempted any of the meditations or done them, I really encourage you to do them. They're amazing. They truly are amazing. And I think I spoke about it before, John. You had recommended Cody's, those 5 minutes after rides, etc. And I've done some of those as
gratitude, courage, meditation.
Yeah,
he's great too.
So those folks are my 2 picks of the week. But this week I am back the whole week. I have tons of time to work out, and I'm looking forward to incorporating Pilates perhaps, and Tony Sinkinson. We will do Tabata, and who knows, maybe that'll be my pick of the week. I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. So I'm looking forward to this upcoming week. I guess that's it, John. Anything more for you to add?
No. Are we supposed to remind listeners, viewers, the leaderboard names? I know some.
Yes.
I've been asking folks, recently. I don't know how we crowbar that in there, but
you're right.
Kenny Banya here on the leaderboard.
Kenny Banya for John and Sieglo3, Seglo3. I think Chris will pop it up on the bottom of the screen, but Sieglo3 is my leaderboard, and I love riding with folks that I connect with, and certainly you folks that are into Pelo Buddy and do get to watch and listen to the show. We so appreciate it. So I'd love to ride on there. And I am actually been riding over the last few weeks with the Pelo Buddy TV hashtag. So I'm utilizing that hashtag for right now. I had gone from we were on a challenge, Cadence to Cure Cancer challenge that I had done with the Yes to You crew. And once that was over, I switched over to Pelo Buddy TV. So right now, that's my hashtag. And for any others that love the show and want to ride with the same hashtag, pop it in there. There is definitely a Pelo Buddy TV hashtag that you guys can use. So I encourage you to.
I need to drop. My tags are I'm maxed out.
Okay.
On tags. So I had to drop one to add Team Activate, but I usually always have my straight dudes for Cody tag because I love my boo and I love to give people a laugh, but all are welcome to that tag as well. But yeah, awesome. I need to get more. They need to let us add more tags.
Yeah. I don't want to have to drop it. I wonder why they restricted it. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Seglo. So I never asked you, is that just a variation of your last name?
Yeah. Seglo so Siegel was actually, was Mark's, he created that as a company name. We kind of we used that as a personal company name, and the 3 defines my 3 kids. So he's actually Sieglo 5. So he incorporated him and me in there. But Sieglo 3, as Leanne says, how does she pronounce it? I think she says Seglo 3.
That's what I thought. It was Seglo.
But with my last name being Siegel, we kind of went with Seglo 3. But I'll take Seglo. Gotcha. I'll take Siegel as long as I get a shout out. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, even if it's the wrong pronunciation,
right? The same with you.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah,
exactly. Because Bradley, he gave me my first shout out, and Bradley's so adorable. He loves to say the underscore if you have an underscore in your leaderboard name. So he'll go, Tom _ Smith. So I messaged him. I said, bro, you don't have to say the underscore. Just save yourself some time. Because he said Kenny _ Bana, which is a first. He's the first UK instructor to get it wrong. So I set him straight. I said, you're new. I'll let it slide.
But you better get it right the next time.
Yeah. So he was funny.
That's too funny. Yeah. That's awesome. And if you scroll down my Instagram page, folks, you'll be able to get the understanding. If you aren't familiar with who Kenny Banya is, you can go on my Instagram page, and I gave John an amazing shout out there explaining exactly what it means and where it comes from.
On my Insta, it's one of the highlighted stories because Jen Sherman, she does a whole diatribe on people not knowing who Kenny Banya is and the Seinfeld connection. So you can see it there too.
I love it.
All right.
Folks, we'll let you guys go. Thank you so much for, again, taking the time to listen to us. Hopefully we gave you some fun and interesting news for this week, and that you guys enjoy our picks of the week. We didn't get any of the members' picks of the weeks for this week, but I think from next week, we definitely want to start making sure that we do get your picks so we can add those in if any of you have anything different to what we have shouted out here today. So feel free to let us know, and hopefully we'll start making that a regular where we'll get you guys to share what your picks of the week are as well. So good luck on the leaderboard this week, everybody. Have an amazing week as we heading into the spring here in the States and in the UK. I know folks have been posting some beautiful sunny blue skies in London. So enjoy the beautiful weather. And from me here in Maryland, bye for now.
And from me here in Michigan, we will also see you on the leaderboard, and bye for now as well.
Thank you for listening to the Pelo Buddy TV podcast, your resource for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us on the leaderboard using the Pelo Buddy TV tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode.